all started with a promise. The secret war in Laos was a turning point because it changed the lives of Hmong people dramatically forever.
The Hmong people are from the mountains of Laos and throughout Southeast Asia. To provide some background information, Laos was created as an independent and neutral country by the 1954 Geneva Accord. But Americans feared all Southeast Asian countries would fall into communism, also known as the domino theory. In order for the U.S. not to violate the 1954 Geneva Accord, the CIA recruited Hmong men in Laos to help fight in the Vietnam War and cut off supply lines that run through Laos. The major supply route was the Ho Chi Minh Trail, which the Communist North Vietnamese used to supply weapons and their troops. The war inside Laos, which was regulated by the CIA, became a secret war because it was done confidentially. The reason being is because Laos was a neutral country, but the US thought that involving the Hmong people was a key to succeed in the war. Helping the United States was the first stage in changing the fate of Hmong lives.
American high officials made a promise with General Vang Pao that if the Hmong people helped the United States fight against the Communist North Vietnamese, then the United States would help support the lives of the Hmong people. However, despite the efforts, Laos fell into communism in 1975, which resulted in the Americans pulling out of Laos. As promised, the United States offered to take Hmong people to live in the US. With this pact in place, about 3,500 Hmong people were airlifted out of Laos in 1975.
But as you can imagine, leaving the homeland was easier said than done. Many Hmong people did not want to depart from what they had always known as home, yet many felt they had no other choice. It was either life or death.
Therefore, many Hmong dispersed throughout the world, immigrating to countries such as the US, Canada, Australia, and France. So the Hmong people had to enter a foreign country with the mindset to expect the unexpected. Leaving behind the comforts and familiarity of Laos proved a huge turning point for the Hmong people. Surprisingly, the La Crosse area was one of the most favorable places to live. There were at least 600 Hmong refugees in La Crosse by 1982.
Xong Xiong, a soldier, officer, and longtime prisoner of war during the Secret War, talks about why he chose the La Crosse area to live.
Vì giờ mua củ tu này lúa tới củ đá lâu nhau nọ thì lấy tỏ củ tu thì tỏ bao đồng nè thì củ tu nó nọ là củ giờ thì và mua củ đá lâu thì mua là hồ và là cho ông cảnh và bao bao nhiêu thì là củ ba nhiêu và nhiêu số ba nhiêu ba triệu.
Đi lúc rồi dùng củ nhẹ nho thì đó họ cho năng là chơi thì nếu mua cho năng dùng trong thì lưu rõ nó nếu mua trong mua hạ mua đồng dùng câu thì dùng đi bên tây trời thì bên nhau bên tây trời mà nhỏ mua trong mua hạ đồng mua tây mua nó đi họ là Crosse này.
After abandoning their homeland and loved ones, they had to start all over again with their new life in a totally different world. We interviewed Lê Cha Chong, who talked about his experience within La Crosse.
Ta chỉ tàu của tôi cho lâu là chỉ bao, đỡ là chỉ bao, nó phải là chỉ chơi trả. Chỉ bé một ta la chứ bé của cháu mình nhỏ, bé tụ chỉ bé một ta la chỉ bé một nhỏ tôi không chỉ lần cái ta.
It's everything is advanced, even then to me. So not knowing how to use the toilet or the stove, things like that.
In Laos, prior to the war, the Hmong people depended on growing food for their family and to own a piece of land. The Hmong people didn't go to school and had no idea how to write. So moving to a more developed country forced the Hmong people to understand the laws and regulations by which they had to live accordingly.
Bây giờ tôi chế là bây giờ một tiền đồng bây một lúa tê là bây tụ bây giờ một tuần nào tuần thùng là bây giờ một chỉ qua lấy mi chỉ qua chỉ lên mà nó xét chắp lại đi mình cả lúc tết chờ nó mà giờ bây tết chờ chỉ qua rau mà nó cả tua mà cũng chỉ tua liền tôi phát tiền chúa nụ chúa cái thể nụ thường cái bài pháp của chắp bây giờ bây giờ tết chờ là bây giờ này xong là bây giờ chỉ tao bông ý kỷ nhẹ rồi lên từ lên.
Sadly, Hmong people became very depressed and lost because everything they lived by was shattered. Many teenagers did not have the parental love that they needed at the time. Teenagers made bad decisions because they had no one to look up to. Their parents were so caught up in the culture shock that they forgot the importance of the children's needs.
A lot of Hmong youth, it was the fact that their parents were gone all the time because their parents had to go learn this new trade in order to support them, and so there was this lack of parenting in general, and not a lack of parenting even, but a different style of parenting, right? And so I think for a lot of Hmong youth, it was a sense of belonging. All these things cause Hmong children, and without the background of understanding why those things are the way they are, causes Hmong children to youth to have a lot of problems, and a lot of those problems lead to gangs. It leads to them, it leads them to doing things that are not healthy for them.
On top of it, they didn't know how to speak English, had no educational background, and felt like a fish out of water. However, there were organizations that help assist the Hmong people of Crosse in this new lifestyle.
For example, there were churches in the area that were willing to help and openly fund for Hmong refugees, such as Catholic Charities Diocese of La Crosse, Our Savior's Lutheran Church, and St. Pius Church.
Organized in 1982, the Hmong Mutual Assistance, or HMA, was specifically built to help Hmong immigrants.
The role of the HMA was to help to resettle the refugees, help them, help set up basically housing for them, assistance for them, education, jobs, and all those things that you need to be, I guess, to be self-sufficient in the United States. So,
thanks to many organizations that were created, the Hmong people had more optimistic views for their future. Without a doubt, the secret war in Laos changed the lives of Hmong people dramatically forever. Currently, there are about 1,563 Hmong people living in the La Crosse area.
With all the hardships the Hmong people had to overcome, they all continue to embrace the culture and the common background. Every year, there is a Hmong New Year, which occurs in early October. This event expresses the accomplishment that Hmong achieved throughout the year and unites everyone together to celebrate. There are thousands of people who attend this event annually who come as far as California and North Carolina.
Also, there are many Hmong people who have worked hard to become successful. Dr. beileve has his own prosperous home business of acupuncture and natural health. He is also a professor at the University of La Crosse, Wisconsin. Amisha Moore is an intelligent lawyer from the District Attorney Office. Xong Xiong, the Executive Director of Hmong Mutual Assistance Association. Chong Lee, owner of Hmong Golden Egg Rolls in La Crosse. And Dr. Cheng Her, a family MD at Gunderson Lutheran. Even though the Hmong population went through this tragic affair, it teaches us all a lesson that no matter what you are going through, there is always a beam of light